Now it's Saturday, and I went to Comic-Con earlier today, and I am going to film an unboxing. Just bear with me if I look like I'm struggling a little bit. I'm having some back pain today. So I know, and I posted my video earlier this week, and I gave some insight on myself and shared some things. But one of the things I didn't share was that I have an issue with my back, and I have like these the disc in my lower lumbar area. I have issues with that and issues with my spine, and periodically I have like severe back pain. Like some people have it with like their sciatic nerve. I have that as well, but it's something else in like my lower lumbar area. The doctors know all that stuff, and it's not often that I have issues, but every now and again I will have just pain. In 2028 I had it so badly where I actually lost the feeling in my left leg, and I lost complete feeling in my left foot. And then I went through physical therapy. I'm supposed to have back surgery, but I refuse to have back surgery. That's the caveat. I refuse to have back surgery, so I work out a lot to build up the muscle in my back to support the issues with my spine. But in 2028, I lost feeling in my foot. I went through physical therapy and basically built the stuff back up, and now I'm doing pretty well. But the caveat is every now and again I have back pain like I am today. So I think it's when I walk. Like the Comic-Con is in a convention center downtown in Baltimore, and it's like concrete floors. And no matter what type of shoe, I always wear a sneaker, but no matter what type of sneaker I have on, I don't know, after walking on like a concrete floor for a long period of time, it just irritates my back. So, and with the situation with my kidneys, to keep them functioning normal, unfortunately, I can't take any pain medication. I cannot take ibuprofen, Motrin, Excedrin. Pretty much the only thing for pain I can take is Tylenol, which unfortunately really doesn't do anything for me. So I kind of just deal with the pain. But I mean, it could be worse. That's how I look at it. So I take it with a grain of straw. So anyway, what we're doing here is opening I ordered some new vessels from Candle Science, and I ordered some wax. So I mentioned in one of my posts about I'm doing a rebrand on my candles. And a big part of that was because I noticed or realized that I really didn't have a clear brand. And with not having a clear brand, I didn't have a clear idea of who I wanted my customer to be. So I went and thought about what I wanted my brand to be. And thinking about what I wanted my brand to be, it made me look more into myself. This box has just relaxed in it. And like speaking to my niece and a couple of my friends, they were like, you are a person that's very classy. You can throw on a gown, you can throw on a dress and heels, put on some makeup if you want to, but in the same breath of things, you are a person that could put on a sweatsuit and be very comfortable like this with a ponytail on the top of your head and still be eloquent, have an air of elegance about you, be regal. And, someone who knew my mom said she was the same way. And I was like, it's kind of like a rustic elegance or, rustic luxury. And it was like, yeah, it's like a combination of the two. And I was like, that's what I've been wanting for my candles. A rustic elegance, luxurious and rustic at the same time. A little bit of hard, a little bit of soft. A type of person who can be a chameleon. They can fit into everywhere without compromising who they are. And my brand came about. Sorry, I'm stopping because I'm trying to see if the dog just ate one of the packing peanuts. Sparrow, what's in your mouth? Oh. And my brand came, and then I realized that's who my customer is. A person who can do the same thing. They can be whomever. They can be both. They can be whatever. You can see one of my candles in $1 million home, but in the same breath of things, you can see it in a cabin in the woods or just anywhere really in that matter. But it still has, even with it being rustic, it's still an air of elegance. So Pharaoh, don't knock over this thing. He has his toy in his mouth and he is going to town, and I'm afraid he might knock over the tripod. So if you see the tripod go down, we're all going to blame Pharaoh. Yup. So let's get to the boxes though. All right. So one of the first boxes is for my iced coffee candles at the coffee shop that debuted last week. They're almost sold out already. So I had to put in another order for the jars for the minis. And here are the minis. These are 5 ounces. Yeah, we debuted them on Saturday last week, and when I left, I had I thought I had like 8 left, but when I came back on Sunday, because I had to put some more labels on the boxes, when I came back on Sunday, I think I had like 4 left, and I was like, oh my goodness. So I was like, let me put in an order really fast to start restocking these, or at least have them in the queue. These are the Christmas ornaments. I don't know how they're going to look. I looked at them on the website, and I've never really done like I don't know how they can it, but you know, a super Christmassy item like this before. But I'm stepping out for the holiday. So here's the lid, which is actually pretty cute. And I ain't want it to look corny. I was worried about that. So it doesn't look corny at all. It actually looks pretty cute. And I'm thinking about doing like a holiday heart type scent in it. But I like it. I like it. And to be fair, I am not planning on doing like a price gouge on this. I am not. I know what's going on in the world, and people would really just want something nice and, you know, to lift their spirits for the holiday season. And I'm not going to price these extremely high for the holiday season. I'm not going to do it. I haven't decided. These might actually go in the coffee shop because they did want something that could be a gift or something like that. So they might end up being exclusively for the coffee shop. And if they do, unfortunately, they won't be on the website. But we'll see. And it also depends on how my site gets traction. Like I said, right now, my orders are more picking up with the wholesale and stores. I'm trying my best to create more content online, but at the same breath of things, I'm not trying to get super hung up on content and letting it be something that really upsets me because I don't have the views and things like that. I just want to enjoy, you know, whatever I put out and get away from being stressed about the views. So moving forward, I kind of just want to have fun with social media versus looking at it as an avenue to sell my business. Yes, it is, but I just want to have fun with you guys versus trying to sell your product. And if you guys decide to buy from me, great. But in the meantime, we just have fun and I land on the lighter side of things. I prefer that more right now because I think the world, or definitely myself, can use more fun than just, you know, the madness in the world. So these were pretty nice from Candle Sight. I got these from Candle Sight. And like I said, nothing was broken. Let me make sure. Yeah, nothing was broken. And I got my wax. Now my wax, I've had some people ask me about my wax. My wax is a blend. Now, when I say I created the blend, I don't mean I made the wax. What I mean is I took wax from, let's say, coconut soy number 21. I put a certain percentage of that in. I put a certain percentage of soy 10 in. And I put a certain percentage of Pro Blend 400 paraffin in. And combined them to make my own custom wax blend that I guess you would say is what I use here at Miss Benny's. It's what you would find here. That's what I mean by I custom blended the wax. Not that I sat at home and, you know, created this wax. No. But it took some time to come up with a blend that I liked, that gave the throw. Now here's the thing with that. It gave the throw in majority of the scents that I wanted to use. I was starting to buy my fragrances from the same places. Now, when I say that, I don't mean I was only buying from one place. No, I was buying my oils from Black Tie Barn. I was buying them from Midwest Fragrance. I was buying from Simbi. I was buying from Sensory. I think I mentioned Midwest. And those places, and Duke. I buy oils from Duke. And those places, when I used this blend of wax, for the most part, all the oils threw well. The cold throws, I did have some issues with the cold throw, but the funny thing is when I would get to the hot throw, even though the cold throw was weak, the hot throw would still be like at least a 4 out of 5. And I'm like, well, maybe with the cold throw, I might need to put more soy because soy tends to have a better cold throw than some of the other waxes out there. So that was the reason why I came up with the wax blend that I did. It was me looking at some of the items that each of the waxes brought to the table. Coconut wax tends to have a better adhesion and a better aesthetic in a clear jar, or really in any jar. And when you compare it with the paraffin wax, it makes the paraffin wax have smoother tops. It makes it look more aesthetically pleasing. It also does help the cold throw some. Soy wax, on the other hand, is harder to get a hot throw from, but it has an amazing cold throw once it finally binds with the fragrance. So I was like, I definitely want that. And of course, everyone knows paraffin has an amazing hot throw. So I was like, what can I do to get kind of the best of both worlds? Now with that, you still get the bad parts of all of those waxes too. So you have to work out those kinks. And now you got the bad of all three. So you have to figure out, is that worth it for you? For me, it took time to figure it out because wicking it, of course, was not the easiest because a lot of people were saying with paraffin you could do the HTPs or you could do Premier, and I was finding that at times like the HTP didn't work well. I would have to wick all the way up with certain things, and then I was like, oh, that makes me nervous because, you know, I'm wicking up by 2 with this oil, but what if I make a mistake one day and accidentally stick that wick in the wrong thing? And I just didn't want to have those level of accidents. So that was something to think about too. So I started testing different series. So I tried HTP, I tried Premiere, I tried CD, I tried CDN. I was and still am a wood wick lover. I am a wood wick groupie, for lack of a better phrase. However, when I started testing more cotton wicks, I started noticing that I liked the stability of the cotton wick. What I mean by that is cotton wicks don't dance as much, or I found that they didn't dance as much as the wood wick. I didn't have as much like with the wood wicks, the maintenance of the wick dictates how the wick performs a lot. Like a lot. With that being said, you have to rely on the customer once you hand over the candle to do the maintenance. And you're not standing over their shoulder like, did you trim that? Did you get all the char off? And that to me poses a problem, because if they don't do these things, that the candle's not going to perform to the best of its ability. Will it still give an awesome throw? Absolutely. However, that flame might be really high, or it might dance around. And I'm like, do I want that? I don't, that makes me nervous. Now, with the cotton wick, it's not going to dance as much. They don't have to necessarily trim as much. The downside to the cotton wicks are a lot of them curve. So now you have it leaning to the side wall. So after, you can't have them burning longer than 4 hours. Now, I could powder burn cotton wick for like 8 hours. A wood wick, if I trimmed it right, I could let a wood wick burn for a good 12 to 14 hours. Don't do that. In my testing phase, and my jar not get hot and all of that. But the thing is, I still, when I blow it out, I have to trim it. I have to get all the char off. All these things that I know to do, but I can't guarantee that the customer will do that. So these are the caveats as well. And I needed to think about what would be safest in the customer's hands. Now, that being said, will I give a wood wick? Will I still keep my wood wicks? Absolutely, because as I said, I'm a wood wick groupie. I am just modifying my customer care cards to say wood wick and cotton wick. And, because it's right here. Wood wick and cotton wick, so that people know it is imperative for you to do these things. No matter how good I wick this candle, with this wood wick, you have to trim. You have to do this. You have to do that. With this cotton wick. So going back to, and that segues back to me talking about me finding a good wick. I started testing ultra core, because ultra core has a core. It's a core wick, and that allows it to stay up straight. The thing about those is they burn extremely hot, so you have to wick down considerably with those to get a good clean burn. I mean, the way that they are set up in the wick guide is by the melt pool in diameter per hour. So when you're bringing, like, okay, I have a jar that is a 3-inch diameter jar. I probably want the melt pool in the first hour to be, 2 and some change. No. You're going to take that down by like 6 to get a good burn. And that is a level of math I don't think a lot of people want to do. However, I did go through the math of doing that. Maybe it's because my background is in engineering. I don't mind doing that, but that's what I ended up having to do. However, when I did that, I noticed that probably 75% of the oils that I wanted to use burned beautifully. But it took a lot of research. So it was the wax that I had to research, the wick. Now, I did test in multiple jars to figure this out too. But still, it took time. It took a lot of time. So with my rebranding, I did a bunch of testing. That's why when you've seen me put candles out this entire year, I did not put out a lot of candles. I didn't. And that was the reason why. I put out what was kind of safe while I did my rebranding. For fall, I put out what was safe for my rebranding. Now they smell amazing. They smell good because I did extensive testing on them. I used vessels that I had used before. I didn't go with anything new. I didn't even put the new wax in for that. I used the wax that I used prior before. I used coconut soy 21 because that was what I was using before. But I just stuck with something that I knew while I was testing this new phase of my process in the background. Now, moving forward to the holidays and my aromatherapy collection that's coming out, that will be done with the whole new concept of the new wax, the new wick. All of that will be the new in there. So you'll get to see the new scents, the 4 aromatherapy scents. And I showed a picture of the purge that shit, the lavender and sage. I actually have what I have burning right now is not part of the aromatherapy. It was a tester candle for Gretel's Kiss by Black Tie Barn, but I actually love the scent so much that I just made a full candle for myself, and I've been burning it ever since. If you that oil smells amazing. So yeah, Gretel's Kiss is amazing. Another one by Black Tie Barn that is amazing is the Lumberjack. The Lumberjack, amazing. What are you doing? Your bandana's upside down too. You want to say hi? Come here. Come here. Say hi, everybody. Come No, not me. Say hi to the camera. You want to say hi? Okay. Hmm? He's not going to speak today. He doesn't want to be on camera. Let him go. Pharaoh, you going to get down? No. Pharaoh, you got to get down, honey. Okay, you can stay right there. But, again, my mini protector. So, yes, the lumberjack is a great one. Like, he did his thing with that one. Absolutely. So, I'm going to sign off. But, yes, check out candle signs for your vessels. And I will keep you posted on what other Christmas and holiday stuff develops. And if you love this video, please like and subscribe, even comment, or just come back and hang with me another day. All right.